Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News for Thursday, June 27, 2024. Stand up for your country. Pre-debate program tonight. You know, it is a historical occurrence. Not too many of those in our lifetimes. Not too many. But tonight is truly history because of the deep divide in the United States and what is actually happening before our eyes. One man, Joe Biden, will take the country to a progressive extreme if he's reelected. Another man, Donald Trump, I got Biden on the brain here. Donald Trump will pretty much do what he did the first time around. So if you like what Trump did the first time around, you have to vote for Trump. If you want a progressive, semi-socialist country, you have to vote for Biden. Now tonight, they get together in Atlanta and they slug it out, and that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. First thing, and I've said this far too many times, people believe what they want to believe. So I'm going to give you a series of facts that are undeniable, that affect your life and my life. All right, I'm going to tell them to you. We're going to put them up on the screen. For the thousands listening on the radio across the country, I will slow down my presentation so all of the words will seep in. Now, these things I'm going to tell you are not debatable. There's no debate about them. You can make excuses, you can rationalize, but they are reality. So, under President Biden, food prices are up 20%. Gas prices are up 47%. Mortgage rates are up 160%. Home insurance rates up 60%. Car insurance rates up a whopping 125%. Real wages that you are paid in the workplace down 2.24%. They were up about 7% under Trump. 49% of American adults live paycheck to paycheck. 50% of American adults have less than $500 in the bank in savings. Now that is grim, G-R-I-M, grim. Biden can't deny it. He'll make excuses. He'll blame Trump. He'll do what every politician does. Can't deny it. 3.5 years, not much improvement anywhere. People have to pay their bills to live. By that barometer that I just gave you in stone, Biden should lose like Jimmy Carter lost in 1980. Reagan wiped him out. I think Carter got 82 electoral votes or something like that. It's the same thing with this big exception. Americans liked Ronald Reagan. Millions of Americans do not like, personally, Donald Trump. Okay. Even worse or more frightening than those stats, because they're already reality, we're living with those stats, is the specter of the future. Joe Biden says openly that he wants to raise the corporate income tax in the United States from the present 21% to 28%, 7% higher. That would bring the average corporate rate, when you add in state taxes, to 32%. Almost a third of their profits would go to government. That will devastate the American economy because the corporations, the companies that make our food, our fuel, and everything else will pass that cost to the consumer. This is basic economics, okay? The consumer can't pay any more in the marketplace. So there will be an economic catastrophe should Biden get that corporate income tax raise. And he wants to raise taxes on individual Americans as well. But he said nobody under $400,000. That's a bunch of crap because, as I just said, any corporate tax raise comes back at the people who have to buy things. Unless you grow your own food, unless you make your own fuel, pump it out of your backyard. So there shouldn't even be any debate about it. President Biden and his progressive administration put this country in a terrible place. I'm not wrong. I mean, I usually say, am I wrong? I'm not wrong. These are the facts. Now, in any worthwhile debate, what I just said would be what the moderators would say and concentrate on. Now, CNN's not going to go anywhere near that because CNN is rooting for Joe Biden to win. Now, you Trump supporters who say, oh, Biden's going to get the questions in advance. Oh, Biden's going to be on narcotics. Oh. That's just Land of Oz stuff. He's not going to get the questions in advance. Maybe he'll take a substance. Could happen. Adderall, something like that. But nobody's going to be able to prove it. Nobody. So why bother? Why bother with any of that nonsense? Just right here, if you're a premium or concierge membership at BillO'Reilly.com, you get a transcript of what I just said. Get that transcript. Order that transcript. It'll come right to you. And you'll have it between now and Election Day. It's not going to change. It's going to get worse. These grocery store prices aren't going to go down. Gas might, depending on the amount of refinement and all that. That could go down a little bit. Food's not. Okay? And they're shorting you in the packages also. We're getting hosed so bad as consumers here. And I would say most Americans, 95% of them have no idea. Because not only are they charging you more for the food, they're giving you less. Look at your cereal box. All right, look at all the stuff you buy. It's 10, 20% less than what you used to get. And all of this is because Joe Biden wanted a progressive economy. What is that? He wants the federal government to control the private marketplace. So he attacked the fuel companies, the American fuel companies, first day in office. And that was a chain reaction across the board. Transportation, farmers, everybody had to pay more, okay? And pass the cost along to us, the people who buy the stuff. You know, you're looking at fast foods now. Those prices are up, what, 40, 50% for a burger, for a taco, whatever you're getting in there? Because they got to pay more to get the stuff into the store. This is all under Biden. All Trump has to do tonight is one thing. When I left office, inflation was 1.4%. You should say that 100 times. But again, you could present this to any Biden supporter you want. You could hand them my stats, even though we sourced every one. Because when you get the transcript, you'll see the source on it. They won't believe it because they don't want to believe it. They don't want to. No, they won't. You can't force them to. And that's why if the election were held tomorrow, Trump would win. But millions and millions and millions of people would vote for Biden. It's not going to be Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan. It's going to be much closer than that. Now, I was on News Nation with Cuomo last night, as I am most Wednesdays. And Cuomo, he is a Biden supporter because he hates Donald Trump. It's not because he thinks Biden's good. Cuomo's smart enough to know Biden isn't a good president. He's smart enough to know that. But he just can't get by the personal animus toward Donald Trump. Why? Because Donald Trump called him Fredo. That's why. Now, if somebody attacks me personally, I don't get over it either. I got a list. Okay, I got a list. I understand. So Cuomo asked me, let's let him do it. Roll the tape.
You have done a list of questions for both candidates, but you also have on BillO'Reilly.com thoughts about what needs to be done to be effective when it comes to being Donald Trump tomorrow night. What do you think that has to look and sound like?
Well, first of all, I don't think the former president should be mean, number one, because he needs women, more women, to vote for him. Now, you can make your point without being mean. You can use humor. You can be self-effacing at times. So I would be very cautious about how I said what I wanted to say. It's not so much what Trump is going to bring to bear on that stage. It's how he does it. I want to say one more thing, that even though this will be a record-breaking debate, I think, for the very reason you articulated, see if Biden can make it through, to see if he's going to collapse mentally in the 90-minute exposition. That's the drama. These guys aren't going to say anything they haven't said a million times before. If they do say something I haven't heard before, I will report it tomorrow night. We're doing a special edition of the No Spin News on Friday of this week, obviously to handicap the debate. But if they say something, either candidate, that I haven't heard before, I'll put it in a talking points memo tomorrow night. But I'm not expecting that. You're going to hear, we're not going to have a country, democracy's on the ballot, convicted felon, all that. And I hope Donald Trump doesn't go after Hunter Biden. Because again, everybody knows about Hunter Biden. And women in particular, they think Trump's a mean guy. So if he pulls back on the mean guy, and I had a conversation with Sid Rosenberg this morning on WABC. I do him every Thursday morning, #1 rated news talk show in New York. And he said, well, Trump, they're going to call him a felon. Okay. So I would just say, if Joe Biden calls you a felon, all Donald Trump has to do is, well, you know plenty about that, Mr. President. That's it. That's all. You beat him with the one-liners like Reagan did. Are you overwhelmed with back taxes or unfiled returns? With 88,000 newly hired IRS agents, that agency has increased enforcement, issuing millions of pay-up notices this year alone. So don't face the IRS alone. Tax Network USA can help you. As the nation's premier tax relief firm, they've negotiated more than $1 billion in tax relief for their clients. Services include penalty forgiveness, hardship programs, and offer in-compromise solutions. So are you behind on taxes? Whether it's $10,000 or $10 million, they can help. Protect your financial security. Contact Tax Network USA for strategic advice on reducing or eliminating your tax debt. To schedule a complimentary consultation, please call 800-245-6000, or you can visit tnusa.com. Don't let the IRS control your life. Empower yourself with Tax Network USA support. Take charge of your financial future. Okay, let's go to the mail. You got Thomas Lane, Carlsbad, California, nice town. You got to get rid of that electrical thing, though. Boy, if Carlsbad get rid of that, you'd be a showcase town. Hey, Bill, premium member, enjoy No Spin News. You've indicated CNN does not handle presidential debate fairly. It will be finished. Why? CNN was not finished after their false reporting on Russian interference. They were. CNN's primetime audience, I checked last night, is now about 400,000. Remember, I did 6 million when I was doing a fact. They got punished like crazy. And you imagine another scandal? Okay, John Hill, Savannah, Tennessee. Not to give you a bigger head, O'Reilly, than you already have, but your advice for Trump's closing statement is fantastic. Thank you. And it's right on BillO'Reilly.com was the message yesterday. Will Schroeder, Findlay, Ohio. Hey, Bill, I think Trump's best play for the debate would be to immediately pick his vice presidential choice. That's a pretty smart move. I don't think he's going to do it, but if he says, well, before I get to that answer, I want to announce my running mate will be, whoa, right? Wow. That's pretty smart, Will. I got to tell you. Howard, the debate won't mean anything meaningful no matter what happens. They will claim Biden won, and he's as sharp as ever. Okay, you're right. But they, on the Trump side, will do the same thing. Craig, I can't see Jake Tapper asking Joe Biden anything more challenging than his favorite ice cream. No. Tapper and Dana Bash will ask the questions about the border, inflation. They have to. But they're not going to push it. Follow-ups, but they have to ask it. Jean Piquet, Portsmouth, Rhode Island. Your fifth question to Trump is too easy. He would simply say he would reinstate the executive orders he had in place previously that were removed by Biden. This is about controlling the border. What would you do day one to control the border? That is a pretty good observation, John. But the follow-up question is, you got that done, remain in Mexico, because Obrador folded. This new president down there, this socialist woman, I don't know if she's folding. So it's an interesting discussion. Scott Evans, Calabasas, California, north of L.A. For the benefit of those of us who are not lawyers, can you define what the Supreme Court means when it refers to standing? Yes, any lawsuit filed in a federal court you have to have a direct connection to it. So if you're in Idaho and you're suing over what somebody did in Florida, you don't have any standing unless the action in Florida comes right back to Idaho and smacks you in the head. So the Supreme Court won't hear cases where there isn't a direct correlation to the person suing. That's what standing means. Paul Wazorski, Columbus, Indiana. Mr. O, an attack by terrorists who come here illegally will never be attributed to Biden's open border. The terrorists themselves will say, when they caught the guys who came over linked to ISIS, the 8 of them, 2 weeks ago, they told ICE they snuck across the border. So the media has no control over that. Jillian, I was very surprised the Beach Boys weren't on the baby boomer most popular pop list. So was I. I'm going to see the Boys in early August on Long Island. They were fabulous. They should have been on the list. You are absolutely right, Jillian. I don't know why they weren't. I cannot understand. Joe Pfeiffer, Loveland, Colorado. My friends and I were discussing the old-time journalists and how we respected them. We reminded Paul Harvey. We all agreed that you, O'Reilly, are the present-day Paul Harvey. That's a very high compliment. I was going through my archives the other day, and I pulled out a letter from Mr. Harvey, who he wrote to me, unsolicited. Very nice letter. Paul Harvey was an icon. I try on the radio. We do radio commentary every day, 300 stations carry it. I try to emulate him. All right, we have a brand new offer that's the best offer we've ever made. If you become a concierge member to BillO'Reilly.com, you get a free book, Confronting the Presidents or any killing book, and a Not Woke mug free. I'm going to only do this for 2 more weeks. I can't do it any longer because we're really taking it here. But I want to give people who want to be concierge members an opportunity. This is your best opportunity ever. And you can upgrade and re-up and get the same deal. BillO'Reilly.com store. Where today do not be fey, F-E-Y. No good. Back with the final thought in a moment. Have you ever been buried in debt, piles of overdue bills, threatening phone calls, and it just won't stop? Done with Debt is your way out. They have developed aggressive new strategies to end your debt permanently. Done with Debt tirelessly negotiates with your creditors to lower or even forgive what you owe. And they do it all without bankruptcy or new loans. Done with Debt has unique strategies to get you out of debt faster. But you need to hurry because some debt solutions are time sensitive. Visit donewithdebt.com and talk with one of their debt relief strategists for free. You have nothing to lose except your debt. Go to donewithdebt.com, donewithdebt.com. By now you have heard me talk about Delta Rescue. They are a fantastic organization that helps rescue animals from the wilderness. You know, I'm a dog lover, so is Leo Grillo. the founder of Delta Rescue. It is his life's mission to provide everlasting care for these once abandoned animals. I myself have donated to Delta Rescue. Do you believe it is part of man's duty to care for dogs and horses, the animals that so much of our history is tied to? If so, please consider making a donation or consult your advisor about leaving a gift in your will or trust. There can be some tax advantages, and it's a great way to help Delta Rescue accomplish their mission. So please visit deltarescue.org to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. All right, here's a final thought of the day. In 2015, we had a massive Republican primary. We had Trump, Cruz, Rubio, Kasich, Carson, Jeb Bush, Rand Paul, Mike Huckabee, Carly Fiorina, Chris Christie, Jim Gilmore, Rick Santorum. And they had debates like every hour on the hour. Debates. And there were complaints from the Republicans themselves. So I got a call from The Tonight Show to come on over there and sort it all out. Roll the tape.
There's actually been a lot of...
All right, blast in the blast. 2015, boy, almost 10 years ago. Thank you for watching and listening to the No Spin News pregame show. We will have a special edition, as I mentioned, Friday, tomorrow on the debate. See you then. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.